Hello everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the Book Refuge. Okay friends, so welcome to one of those like weird filming days. Like I'm excited to film, but it's like such a cloud and dreary day and I just have to like go for it. It's also like cold, but muggy because it was like rain, so it's like humid. So I'm irrationally like a little bit damp, as it were, but also like it's too cold to like do anything about it. Do you know? I don't know. It's a weird temperature vibe. So we're just going with it. I put on a headband to hold down the flyaways and we're wearing a very bright blue with this. But then I was feeling insecure about my arms in this, so we put on a wrap and I was like, okay, we're just doing it. I know you guys love me. You're here for me. You always boost me up. It's so great. But today, in this video, we're talking about my plans for November. Now, October, as you have seen, or maybe you're not and you don't notice those things, there was a crap ton of books that came out in October. And a lot of them were ones I was very excited for. And it just felt super overwhelming to get to all of those, but there were some real good ones in there. I'm really excited to talk about those. In fact, even besides my normal monthly wrap up, which of course will be coming like next week sometime, I'm gonna do a video that is like all of the new releases that I read in October, because in my monthly wrap ups, I usually only talk about my top 5 and there's just so many that I want to talk about. So we're gonna do that in another video. But anyway, my point with all of that is I wanted to take it a bit easier on myself in November. And we're rolling into then December where I start doing my big reread of all my 6-star books. So yeah, I wanted to give myself a break. I also, I'm gonna, I have to hustle with some of my side projects to make some money for taxes and to keep things going good, keep the lights on, keep the ring light running, all that good stuff. So I just didn't want to drown myself in a TBR. But yeah, I'm also very excited. There is particularly one book I've been waiting years to have. And yeah, there's going to be some really fun things. So let's go through those. And when we get done with the books I'm committed to read, we'll talk about what I'm doing for kind of my extra stuff and what I'm hoping to do. So we'll go from there. So starting at the beginning of the month, because I do actually have these listed by date this time, because I'm cool like that. So on the 1st of November, we have Trick Shot by Kayla Gross. This is going to be an MMF, and it is it supposed to be 2 cowboys and a girl, or are they like hockey players? I can't even remember what it is now, but Kayla Gross wrote a book earlier this year. Was it Rain Me In? That was hers. I don't even know, but it actually looked really cute, and it legit was an MMF. I feel like there's been so few good MMFs lately. They're all either an MFM, looking at you, what's her name? Who's doing it? Shoot, her name just went out of my head. She writes a crap ton Lauren Blakely. She keeps putting out these MFMs and I'm just like, I'm not interested. And then of course the RHs that don't have any, sword crossing. And it makes me sad, okay? I am a Menage loving heart. So this one's just going to be a little shorty, comes out on November 1st. And I plan to gobble this up like, Thanksgiving turkey. There we go. Look, the puns are coming. On that same day comes Some Winter's Evening by Erin Langston. So I'm actually currently reading this one because I received a lovely advanced copy from Erin. Forever Your Rogue is one of my favorite books that I read this year. Excited to see where it fits on my top list. And yeah, this one is about the heroine's brother, who is a barrister and is nerdy and grumpy, and it's a romance between him and the children's new governess. So I'm loving that. But that comes out on the 1st. Make sure to get that book. Support indie historical romance authors, okay? I don't mean to be a downer, but I really feel like historical romance is going towards indie more and more because it's not getting the support it deserves in the traditional market. So we need to uplift our indie authors and get the attention of publishers again. Anyway, I'm just putting it out there. So if there is an indie, you should always support indie authors you love. But if there is a historical indie author you love, make sure you give them the support they deserve. This is not a lecture, by the way. That's what my heart really feels always, On the 2nd is Reckless Hearts by Jagger Cole. So again, Missed out on an arc of this one, but very, very excited for this. I have loved this series. The book 5 was a bit of a dip for me, but just based on this cover, I can tell that Jager's going to go wild with it. And honestly, he's been some of the best dark romance I've read this year, just because he hits the right balance where I don't take him too seriously, but he still gives me like a really good story, and I like it. So looking forward to that. On the third is Hoarded by the Dragon by Lillian Lark. This is another book in her bathhouse romances. I greatly have enjoyed other books in that series. I have a lot of the novellas. I can't remember if this one is going to be a full-length one now. This one might be a novella because the last one was full-length. I don't know, but we're going to get into it because I can't wait. I love dragons. Because guess what? There's also 2 other dragon books coming out very soon after. We, of course, have Iron Flame, which everyone and their mama is excited for. So am I. I can't wait to see what happens next. I even got a couple of my friends into it who are more like side lovers of books. Although my friend was a little shocked that there was some spicy romance. I was like, I told you it was adult fantasy romance, but she didn't listen, and she's an adult. She can handle it. Then, though, the same day is the dragons I've been waiting for, as I said, for years, and that will be Murtagh by Christopher Paolini. That's why I've been doing rereads of this series in the past few months, and I cannot wait to see what was compelling enough to bring him back to this world. Like, after watching interviews with him and listening to, how much he loves and knows these characters and how he just couldn't let them go because they're such a big part of his life, I really do trust what he's going to do next. And I'm so interested to see how his writing has evolved, because I haven't tried reading A Sea of Stars. I only ever read else by him, the little like 3 novella bind up in the Aragon world. And it was good. It was good. But you don't really get to see him stretching his legs with that. So I'm super intrigued to see what he has waiting for us. And for Murtagh, I will hopefully be listening to it right away when it comes out, but I'm not going to physically have the book until the 21st, because on the 21st, me and my best friend are driving down to Sioux Falls, South Dakota for an event at Barnes & Noble. He's going to be there for a book signing. And my 13-year-old heart just almost can't handle it, because I just loved his books as a child. I love them now, but as a child, I just reread those books over and over again. I love them so much. Also on the 7th is Vengeance of the Pirate Queen by Trisha Levenseller. This is another series I loved as a younger woman. I wasn't too young when I read those ones, about 21, 22. But there was a duet by her that was the daughter of the Siren Queen, the daughter of the Pirate King. And this one is the, Vengeance of the Pirate Queen. And I actually have an advanced audio copy of this. I really need to get into it soon. But I have an advanced audio of this, so I can't wait to dive in. There will also be One Night in Heartswood by Emma. Oh shoot, my marker smudge, by Emma D. I'll put it up here. This is an historical romance. And this was just one that I saw pop up on NetGalley, and I was like, that looks fun. So I'm going to give that one a try. On the 8th, there is Risk the Fall by Riley Hart, and I also have an arc of this one. I haven't read anything by Riley Hart, but this is an romance, and it really interested me, so I'm going to give this one a go. Calamity by Constance Fay. This, I believe, is the debut book for Bramble, which is Tor's romance group. All of the other books that they have acquired have already, that we've seen them doing, they've already been released by indie authors and are now being scooped up. And this is the first one that's going to be it was written for Bramble. So I have an arc of this one. I haven't gotten to it yet, even though I've had it for months, but that's how my life goes. Okay, I've been filled to the brim with good books. But this is supposed to be a sci-fi romance. Now, it's from Tor, and it's the first book coming off with their sci-fi romance. So we're going to see, how much, oomph was put into this. We'll see. I do enjoy a good sci-fi, and we know how I feel about romance, so we'll see. All right, then I have an arc of Do Your Worst by Rosie Danan, and that comes out on the 14th. There's not been a book from Rosie Danan in, I think, over 2 years. And this one isn't a part of her previous series, which I was sad there wasn't more to come with that, because I really liked that what she was doing with sex workers in that series and kind of like upending taboos and stuff. But this one is, I think, about like some type of scientist and then like a ghost hunter or someone who talks to ghosts. I could be completely wrong, but when I saw Rosie Dannon's name, I snagged it. I had read an arc previously of like the second book in her series too, and I loved that book. It was one of my like favorites the year that I read it. So we'll give this a go. On the 17th, we have Roped by Ivy Jackson. This one is book 3 in her Cowboy series, and I think this one's Fake Dating. Then the Make Believe Match by Melanie Harlow is the 20th. This is book 3 in her, I don't remember the name of this series. There's a lot in my head. But anyway, it has a pretty cover, and we'll see if I get an arc of this. I might not. I haven't been approved for any of the arcs in this series, so it's highly unlikely. But I keep asking. And then The Witch Would Not by Olivia Atwater. Now, this one, I believe, is just fantasy. It didn't say whether it was romance or not, but I honestly, like, the cover looks so cool, and I wanted to try it. And Olivia Atwater has done some, I know she's done clean, like, paranormal before, so I'm not expecting a ton of spice out of this, but you know what? I'm not as much motivated by the spice as I used to be, as I try to, as I've been drawn to other things lately, so it might be the perfect time. So yes, those are all of books I either have arcs of or new releases that I know of as of now. As happened in October, there may be some of these that don't end up coming up when they come out when they say, or new ones that pop up. One of my favorite books of the month was only announced literally 4 days ago or a week ago, and then it came out this week because the author was like, you'll get it when you get it type of thing. So there you go. All right, now real quick, let's just go through the Patreon reads. So all of these but two are rereads anyway. So these ones, well, one of them I do have to reread. Maybe the other one too. I don't know. But most of them I have already annotated before, so it won't be a big deal. But Blindside was picked for the Patreon book of the month. So when I read and review this, it will only be reviewed on Patreon. So if you want access to that, you can join the $7 tier or above on my Patreon. Always linked down below. Support the channel in a small way. And this was picked for Fake Dating. So I did roll my eyes a little bit that I picked Fake Dating out of my jar, because I spoke about this in one of my weekly wrap-ups. Like, fake dating is like the hot trope right now. Like, single dad and fake dating have been like such a huge trope this summer and fall, but that's okay. We love it. It's because they're easy tropes to go along with small town, so they fit in there. But this one is like new adult sports. I think it's college sports. So we'll see. I might be into that. So I know lots of people love this series. I know this one isn't necessarily everyone's favorite, and I have wanted to read ones further in the series, so I definitely will continue. Even if I don't love this one, I will still continue, because I know people love books further on in the series, but we'll give it a try. So then, as for one that is new to me, which I already own because I bought it, or I got it as a gift, is Butcher and Blackbird by Brynne Weaver. Everyone has been going gaga over this in October, and it's one I did want to read in October, but didn't think I would have time to get to it this month, and then someone picked it for their Patreon book, so I will get a copy for the patron as well, because I definitely want to keep a copy of this. I actually have a collection of Brynne Weavers that I haven't gotten to yet, but yeah, this one is supposed to be every serial killer needs a friend, every game must have a winner, and I think these two are kind of like they're rival murderers, so that sounds cool. And a lot of people were reading that and giving it 5 stars, so I'm like, okay, I'm here, I'm listening. Then the other books that are ones that I need to either reread or annotate for someone. We have As She Makes Her Presence Known in every TBR I have. Someone wants Heartless and someone wants Hopeless, so I will be passing on my annotations for those. There will also be Stolen Air I'll be rereading, and then Last Light I have already annotated before, so I'll just make a copy for someone. And someone wanted Princess as well, so I was like, look at me getting to spend more time with Claire Kent. I'm such a lucky lady. So yes, those are the books for Patreon. Now also, just as a reminder, I've announced this a few times, but I'll say it again. I am starting to do some a la carte annotated books. People have asked about that before, and for a while it was something that's exclusive only to Patreon. Now, Patreon still will always get first dibs. I mean, the people who are on this tier who pay for it every month, they will always get A, the best deal because they've been committed to it for so long, and B, like, they always get to choose what goes up first. So each month now, to the best of my ability, I will offer 5 or 6 books to choose from that people can purchase from me, and I will announce it in the Patreon. And Patreon, you can always follow my Patreon without like committing to it. Like, I have 40 some people who follow it but aren't like paid followers, and they're making it even easier for you to kind of almost have it as like a social page where you can share more stuff that isn't just you. So if you want to know when those are available, if you're someone who can't commit to every month, or you've wanted to be on that tier but have never been able to get a spot, because I do pride myself, those are always full, which makes me feel very blessed, but you want an a la carte option, definitely be following my Patreon for that, because I sometimes will share it to my community page, but like if I offer them to Patreon first and like they all sell out, well, then there's none left to offer. But the reason why I say that is as a bit of a hint, there may be one of these showing up I think it'll be either the end of this month or the beginning of November. And I often don't give people a lot of warning because I'm chaotic like that. So there you go. But anyway, okay. So now what's the fun thing that I'm planning to do in November? So that's already a lot of books that we just listed. But you know, Jen can get through those. We can do it. Since in December, I'm going to have like, you know, a lot of books to reread. There'll be a lot to get through there. But also, you know, me trying to wrap up the end of the year. There's holiday, there's all of that. I decided what I wanted to do is I went back through my good old reading journal here, which this is where I put all of my TBRs and wrap-ups and, you know, tracking different things. And I looked at which books I've had on TBRs that I didn't get to. And looking back, there actually wasn't too many. I mean, you've seen how big my TBRs are. In total, there was only about 15 books that I put on TBRs that I didn't get to. And there was about, well, we'll go through how many it is that are ones that I actually like still want to read. Because, you know, sometimes you put them on and then I either like tried a little bit and didn't like them or didn't really care. But these are ones that have been on TBR, some of them multiple TBRs. And I'm going to try to push myself to get through them in November. So this part I'm calling the TBR redo. And then there's also a few little extras mixed in there as well. So yeah. The ones that have been on my TBRs the most that I have continually passed up, and I don't understand why. Like, gosh, I don't know. But there is A Soul to Keep. This one is Dustwalker Brides Book 1. I don't know what the fuck my holdup is with this one. I mean, maybe it is that the size is big, but that's not a good reason. I read books bigger than this all the time. So I don't know what's going on. I know friends who love this. There's now like 4 or 5 books in the series. So I want to get to this. So November, we're giving it a good shot. A Ship of Bones and Teeth by Karina Halley. I've been trying to read this one since June. Still haven't got to it. I haven't read a Karina Halley in quite a while, though. I'm a bit disappointed in myself, I will say. And then Forgotten Vows. I will read this in November, if not this month, because Lily Mayne at any time could tell us the 3rd book is coming. And I know that this one has a happy for now. So why I don't want to get to it, I don't know. But I have the audiobook for it, and I still haven't read it. So we are holding Jenn accountable to this book. Okay, it's happening. Then there is The Wrong Bride by Katharina Mara. This one I got a bit gun shy because a few of my closer friends did not care for this book. They don't care for the writing or how the romance played out. Of course, that's going to make me nervous. That's going to make me nervous when my friends don't love it. But I do also have the audiobook for this one that I got during a sale. So I at least could get started with it. I don't know. And maybe I'll like it. We don't know. I just think too, as I've said, like I've lost a bit more of my like patience with some things. And I feel like that's a book that could like try my patience. I don't know. And then we have one that, this one is just sweet. This one is totally for me and I want to get to it. Back for my birthday this year, my friend Mel made me a Court of Mist and Fury, a retelling from Rhysand's POV in this beautiful version, and I want to read this one, and I have, like, again, put it off for too long. So yeah, I want to get to this one as a gift to myself. This is a fan fiction by Illyriant Raymors. I don't know, but there we go. There's that one. Then just a couple others. We have Keep Me by Summer O'Toole. This one was book 3 in her like mafia series, and I just kind of like fell off of it. I own this one because I pre-ordered it, so it's time to read it, like own it on my Kindle. Also, Just Like Heaven by Trilina Pucci. This one was on my 12 Recs by 12 Friends. I only have 4 books left on that, and I really do want to finish it by the end of the year, but I don't know, I haven't been in the mood for that one because it says it's a Romeo and Juliet retelling. And guys, I really don't love Romeo and Juliet retellings when they try to follow it too closely. And in this one, they also have the names in it, so I don't know. And then also from that list is When She Unravels by Gabrielle Sands. Now, that one is now a double recommendation because it was recommended in the 12 Recs for 12 Friends. And also my friend Shauna, who is my like book bestie in real life, she is loving that series. And I've heard that from multiple people, so I want to get into it. Then there is Dark Fae by Quinn Blackbird. Don't have any clue what this one is about, but I picked that one off of that one is off of the viewer recommendation list, and so is Ignite by Nora Phoenix. So those are the books that I plan to get to for my TBR redo, like another chance at, and then a couple extras in there. So that's enough yakking for me. I actually need to go get a drink of water before I film another video. I'm going to try to film a couple today. But let me know which books you are most excited to read in November. Those are the ones that are my plan for me, and I wanted to give myself more wiggle room. I know that that seems like so many books and there's not wiggle room, but, you know, that was about 23, 24 books, and, you know, I actually have like I can read 40 to 50 books in a month, so we'll see what we can get through in November. I also have a lot of like crafting and sewing to do to start getting ready for Christmas gifts. So hopefully that'll help get me in gear if I have some good stuff to listen to. So anywho, thank you so much for watching this. Please make sure you leave me a like, a comment, telling me, as I said, what you're excited to read. Give me some fall leaves or a pumpkin down below. And yeah, we'll see you next time, friends. Bye.